Hello everybody, this is Mike, and today I'll be explaining Section 138 of the New York State Notary Licensing Law. It can be very intimidating. It's titled The Powers of Notaries, Public or Other Officers who are Stockholders, Directors, Officers, or Employees of a Corporation. Yes, people find this intimidating. For those of you that are existing notaries, I get calls on a weekly basis surrounding what this is about, which is conflict of interest and on a deeper level. And for those of you studying for the exam, you're going to need some help with this. So, are you one of these people below and one of these people on this list? And if you're a notary public, you are because it says powers of notaries, right? And people who work in places as notaries, right? So here we go. So I have a warning, intimidating section 138. Above, we have the nasty run-on sentence, the worst run-on sentence in the notary license law. I always have fun with this when we teach the exam prep because we need to have fun when we learn. Otherwise, it's a boring law lecture. Okay, so I have a challenge to myself right now and to you folks when you read this on your own. Read the first sentence in yellow without taking a breath. So we have this run-on sentence in yellow, and then this second sentence, and then this third sentence, all right? And this is all Section 138 of the Notary Public Licensing Law. So let me take a deep breath and try to read this without breathing. A notary public, justice of the Supreme Court, a judge, clerk, deputy clerk, or special deputy clerk of a court, an official examiner of title, or a mayor or recorder of a city, a justice of the peace, surrogate, special county judge, or commissioner of deeds who is a stockholder, director, officer, or employee of a corporation may take the acknowledgement or proof of any party to a written instrument executed to or by such corporation or administer I couldn't do it. An oath of any stockholder, director, officer, employee, or agent of such corporation, and such notary public may protest for non-acceptance or non-payment bills of exchange, drafts, checks, notes, and other negotiable instruments owned or held for collection by such corporation, but none of the officers need another breath, above name shall take the acknowledgement or proof of a written instrument by or to a corporation of which he is a stockholder, director, officer, or employee, if such officer taking such acknowledgement or proof be a party executing such instrument either individually or as a representative another breath of such corporation, nor shall a notary public protest any negotiable instruments owned or held for collection by such corporation if such notary public be individually a party to such, I took a breath, instrument or have a financial interest in the subject of same. Whew. Next sentence. All such acknowledgments or proofs of deeds, mortgages, or other written instruments relating to real estate property heretofore taken before any of the officers aforesaid are confirmed. This act shall not affect any action or legal proceeding now pending. All right, now that looks insurmountable to your average everyday layman. And this is an example of how we shortcut this stuff and explain it and make it simplified for anybody to understand. And this is how we do all of the notary licensing law. And this is why we have less than 1% of our students report failing to us to take advantage of our guarantee that anybody who fails the exam gets a free repeat and a one-on-one with me. And I don't get many people that do that, less than 1%. Okay, so here is that whole section 138 here, and notice what I have highlighted here. This explains it, and then we'll explain it further. So first, if you're a notary public and you're working as a justice of the Supreme Court, a judge, a clerk, a deputy clerk, or special deputy clerk of a court, an official examiner of title, or a mayor or recorder of a city, a justice of the peace, surrogate, special county judge, or commissioner of deeds who is a stockholder, director, officer, or employee of a corporation. Now, I just want you to know that anywhere you work, you're all of these when you work somewhere, except for maybe stockholders. Stockholders usually are officers or employees of a corporation, but you can be a stockholder without being an officer or employee of a corporation. Now check this out. All of these public officers, all right, and even ones that aren't on this list, that could be on this list, are all employees or officers, because guess what? All government agencies are corporations. So without memorizing this list, anybody who works anywhere, including government agencies or private corporations or small businesses, are all either a director, officer, or an employee. As a matter of fact, officers of corporations are employees, and so are directors, because they can be fired. Okay, so everybody's an employee somewhere, and the only one that doesn't necessarily have to be an employee is a stockholder. So why would you need to memorize all of these for the exam when you know that anybody who works somewhere, including a stockholder, may do all the notary acts highlighted here, which is the acknowledgement we notarize, or any other instruments we do proofs. That's on the exam that we discuss, to any written instrument. So a written instrument is anything in writing we notarize. Executed means signed to or by such corporation, or administer an oath to any other. Okay, so anything for any of these places, these government agencies, or even private corporations, but really this is addressing people who work in government agencies, because apparently there was an argument. You can notarize everything, including affidavits. You can administer an oath, which is an affidavit. You can do acknowledgments, and then the only other kind of a certificate is the proof certificate that we get into in the exam prep. All right, we're not going to explain all that now. We don't have time. So you can do everything a notary does. All right, and everything for that company. All right, and it lists things that the company does, but none of them above. So nobody here who's a notary and works somewhere named shall take the acknowledgement, proof, or of a written instrument or affidavit. Right, so you can't do it, nor shall a notary public protest any negotiable instruments owned or held for collection by such corporation, if such notary public be individually a party to such instrument or have financial interest in the subject of same. So it says if you have a conflict of interest, you can't notarize it, which is a basic theme throughout the notary license law and the exam. So it says, once again, that if you're a notary public and you work somewhere, including government agencies or private corporations, you can do everything a notary does, and as long as you don't have a conflict of interest. Okay, so let's get into what's a conflict of interest again. So let's boil this down. So public officers who are employees of a corporation, including stockholders, who are not always employees but usually are, can notarize everything for the corporation as long as they do not have a conflict of interest. And conflict of interest is legal consideration. That's what they call it on the exam. And the definition of legal consideration in the notary license law and on the exam is money, services, or love and affection. So what is money? We all know what money is. What are services? Services are something you receive, not in a financial form, that have a value to you, or love and affection. The most common love and affection call I get is, can I notarize for my cousin or my spouse or my sibling or my child or my parents? And that's up to you to decide every time you notarize something. Do you have a love and affection for your spouse? Some people might hate their spouse, right? And I still wouldn't do it, though, because I think a conflict of interest is anything of value, including hate. So hate could be a conflict of interest. So let's give you 3 examples here. So an example, if you executed the instrument, in other words, signed it, and you're the notary, your conflict of interest is love and affection, because you love yourself and you can't be unbiased witness for or against yourself. When you're the notary, if you notarize your own signature, you're potentially a witness for yourself or against yourself in a court of law. Think about it. A notary is a witness. Next, If you are notarizing a document that gives all company officers and employees a COLA pay raise, a COLA pay raise is a cost of living adjustment. That's not on the exam. This is just an example. A pay raise, and you're notarizing it for the company where you work because you're an employee or a stockholder there, and you're going to get a pay raise, and you're notarizing it even though somebody else signed it. You are an employee getting a raise. That's a conflict of interest, which is money. Okay? And the third example, if you are notarizing a new law for New York State that will give state legislators state-funded legal training, and you're also employed by New York State as a legislator, so you voted on this law, and you're going to benefit because it's going to give you a state legislator funded legal training. Your conflict of interest is services. And you can go on and on and on with this, but a conflict of interest is basically anything of value to you, including but not limited to the big three legal consideration. The big three are money, services, or love and affection. But remember, you might hate your spouse, and hate is a value to some people. I wish it wasn't. That's a sad statement of where we are in society and the world today. Okay, so that's it for this training. Feel free to call me. So why did you get your notary license, or why are you here studying this? Because it's the best resume secret sauce. How to craft a winning resume as a college student, as a job seeker, as somebody already working somewhere to increase job security. Become a New York notary public and get the license on your resume, the lifetime commission, that you never have to take the exam again, like a driver's license. So you can also upgrade to the RON license after you get the basic license. To get the RON license, you need the prerequisite. And it's going to increase respect from your employer, your coworkers, your friends and family, and your clients. Go to howtobecomeanotaryinny.com. Okay, so here's the website. You can find our online exam prep and get your notary public license. A year from now, you're going to wish you started today. And you can also upgrade to the remote online notary. All the links are here on the website, including notary supplies, testimonials, and a sample New York practice exam. We get about 15 or 20 people doing that on a weekly basis, sometimes even on a daily basis, because there's 3 to 4 exams in most areas in New York State. Okay, so yeah, look at our testimonials. We have hundreds of them that are unsolicited, like Annie Lee, legislative liaison, Albany County Comptroller, wrote, I took online lessons from Mike and passed my notary public exam easily. Mike is a very experienced and detail-oriented teacher, a good teacher. I asked for advice when I started to notarize for people. Mike is ready to help, patient. As he promises, he's a man of his word. If you look for a notary public lesson or answers related to notary New York, Mike's my recommendation. That makes me so embarrassed. I feel very humbled. Anyway, I found this on LinkedIn. And all these other ones, we get them in emails and different social media. So please stop by and take a look at those. Thank you for spending your time with me. Please subscribe, like, comment, and share. Go to howtobecomeanotaryinny.com or call me at 347-427-9091. Always hit extension 1 to avoid the menu, and we'll see you next time.